I think people will mobilize. You know, the campaign Enough is Enough, for me, struck a chord because people cannot tolerate anymore. They've had enough. You can't keep squeezing people year on, year on. And it's okay. At some point, people hit that wall. And I think they're about to hit that wall. So there will be huge pushback and the government will have to turn.
Yeah, so thank you so much as ever. Honestly, always.
And this is why campaigns like Don't Pay UK and Enough is Enough are so important, because there's not another election for 2 years. I saw some bloody liberal on Twitter. I can't remember what their bloody name was. Was it Rob something? I don't even know now. Let me find it. This guy called Stephen, right? And he's just like, seeing this Enough is Enough gig on the timeline, and oh good we're doing, look how popular are filling a small theatre in a left stronghold, and pretending it's enough to win a national election again. I'm like, I'm sorry, liberals, but politics doesn't just stop between election cycles, right? How else are we going to deal with the issue that's happening now, right? We're weeks away from a national crisis with regards to energy bills, and you're here like, well, what about the next election? That's just 2 years away, mate. It's 2 years until we're going to be getting another election, another chance to change who's in power. So we have to look at methods of changing the political landscape outside of the ballot box, and huge campaigns like Enough is Enough, trying to build a broad coalition of unions and pressure groups and political actors who are maybe in the Commons, people like Zarah Sultana. We have to get people on board to demand action now. Civil unrest, civil disobedience, some kind of level to which we say, tell the government, I don't care about your majority in the Commons, I do not care about your mandate in Parliament. If you do not cease to our demands, then we will cause civil unrest. That's what we have to do. That's the only way in which we're going to be able to get any change. Look at the poll tax, for example. Like the way in which the poll tax was removed from policy through civil disobedience, through mass non-payment, through rioting. Right? I'm not saying I'm not saying that we should be going out and rioting, but some level of public protest is what is necessary to make sure that the government change their course on these issues. And liberals just like, well, what think about what this is going to do to Starmer's approval rating, as if that doesn't matter. As if that matters at all, rather, sorry, for the next 2 bloody years, right? They're so, like, again, it's all election brain, it's all red team versus blue team, and that's why it's incredibly frustrating. Like, I was looking here as well, what was it? What was the other thread I saw about Enough's Enough from? There we go, right? The Enough is Enough campaign is more about destabilising Labour than it is unseating the Tories. Again, as if we had any chance of unseating the Tories before this national crisis kills people, right? Until people start dying this winter, which is ages away between now and the next election. Please listen to Martin Lewis and resist this madness. Again, trying to appeal to, we should just have some kind of individually deal with the issues on our own, rather than expecting grand scale political action. No, you can just pinch the pennies, and you can turn the square root of fuck all into something that's more than fuck all, right? And then there's someone else in these replies saying it's filled with tankies and genocide deniers, and honestly, we should never, ever, ever have gotten to the point at which liberals are calling people tankies, because they just think that everyone to the left of fucking Tony Blair is a tankie at this point. It's the same as all people within the Labour Party will call people trots, or whatever. It's just absolutely pathetic. And they're driving voters away from the biggest vehicle for social democratic change in this country. First of all, I've never seen any evidence of them trying to undermine Labour, other than trying to push Labour on specific policies, right? Trying to pressure, in the short term, right, the government into making literally any action on the issues with the cost of living crisis to be able to have some kind of robust response to what's going to happen to the most vulnerable people in the society during an unprecedented cost of living crisis. And as I said previously, we can't just wait until the next election. People will have died by then. So we have to take some kind of other, some kind of method of direct action to influence change other ways. And also, whilst trying to influence the government on that, trying to push Starmer on policy by showing him that there is this wide coalition of people who demand further change than just, we will freeze the energy bills, but we won't deal with the long-term structure of the issue, because it is a structural issue, as has been detailed previously by the video that we just watched. So that's one thing. And second of all, tankies and genocide deniers. Where? Michael Rosen, like the cuddly author, the Zarah Sultana, is she a tankie? Is she a genocide denier? They have no evidence of this shit, right? No evidence of any of this shit at all. it's just brain rot at the end of the day. It's just brain poison where everything is about the red team. They're just fanatically devoted to the red team. Anything that they think is not even against the red team or antagonistic towards the red team is bad, but anything that diverts attention away from the red team is also bad. And it's just mind-boggling. Like, it's just so superficial, and they're just deeply intellectually incurious, right? Honestly, I just do not get these people. But it's, as I said, it's good. Like, Enough is Enough campaign is excellent. It's going to be really good. It's going to help us, move people to some kind of point of view that we share around some kind of leftist perspective on the issues with the system as it exists right now, to try and agitate for systemic change ideologically, whilst also having the broad coalition of people to try and fight for positive utility in governmental policy right now. Because if we do not act outside of the ballot box, people are going to die. That's just the long and short of it. People will die if this government does not act. And they don't have to listen to us at the ballot box because there's no vote. They only have to listen to the Tory members. So we have to make our voice heard in other ways, and it's going to be through direct action. That's what's really important here.